Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world. Welcome to another edition of The Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. We start our scene outside of Central Park, a few blocks away, just as Kelly Krykos comes out of her apartment for the morning, leaving behind a few breadcrumbs outside the door in hopes of thwarting the fey menace that besets her family. She comes down the stairs quickly, one of the neighbors giving her a wide berth as she comes out of the door onto the stoop. And she begins her brisk walk towards the park. A bandana up in her hair, just over the top of her head, letting the long brown locks dangle beside her, unaware that she is in a position to fortuitously meet with a good friend of hers. We start our scene as she rounds the corner into the view of a certain child Gaia.
As Callie rounds the corner, May's appearance tends to stand out. She's quite tall, and of course, there's that bright tangerine orange hair. And she's wearing her uniform for work, so it's quite plain compared to her normal attire, just like a nurse's overall type thing. And trousers, very plain shoes, so it makes the hair stand out even more against the bland background. And she's holding a box of noodles and eating them as she walks down the street with her headphones on. She stops at a window when she notices the television screens and the news about the recent plane crash and protests. And she's momentarily distracted by watching the news as she eats her noodles.
Callie, as she rounds the corner, obviously sees the bright tangerine hair, and a warm smile comes across her face as she simply walks up to May as she's looking at the TV, stands behind her, crosses her arms, just leans forward to blow on the back of her neck.
May is sort of quite intent, sort of wide-eyed at the TV, in that sort of dead-eyed way that you look at screens when you're just going about zombie-like about your day. And the sudden change of the breath on her neck startles her, and she takes her earphones off, puts them around her neck, and turns swiftly to see who it was that did that.
And Kelly stands there with a smile that could melt wax at 200 yards.
Callie,
May?
what are you doing here?
I live here. Well, close to here, but you know that. You've been here.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was in my own little world.
Apparently. How you been?
Oh, not too bad, just got off work. Yourself?
Getting ready to go to work. Long day ahead of us in the set. Lots of shrubs to plant today. Wildflowers were yesterday. Today, shrubberies. I have to expect to see a group of knights that go knee.
Her smile widens, and she takes another sort of scoop of noodles and puts them in her mouth with chopsticks. So you really have to introduce me to the other guys at some point. You know, I don't want you to people to think that you hog me all to yourself.
Kelly's nose turns a slight shade of scarlet as the bridge of her cheeks do. And she takes on more the appearance of being slightly bashful as her arms come behind her hand or behind her back as she sort of swoons a bit. Yeah, I suppose after a while people are going to start to get an idea.
There's a slight change in May's expression from the smile, and it doesn't disappear entirely, but it sort of fades around her cheeks and around her eyes, where she's obviously thinking about something. Before she gives her head a little shake and forces out a little chuckle, pushing away the thoughts. So, when do you want to hook up next so we can sort this meetup out? I guess you're going to be busy if you're going to work.
I have a lunch break today. Could see if we can't get Heinrich over and you can meet him and see for yourself how big of a butt wipe he can be.
Yeah, well, the whole everyone's a butt wipe thing is getting a little bit boring. But
he puts on a lot more than he actually believes. A lot of stuff that he says, I noticed. He wants people to think that he's like everybody else. He's a lot smarter than he gives on.
yeah, seems to be a common theme around here. Everybody's a cactus, as it were.
Prickly on the outside, nice and warm on the inside, nice and wet on the inside. She shrugs.
May blushes a little bit, only a tiny bit. It's sort of not what she meant, but kind of what she meant, but also not what she meant at the same time.
Kelly just kind of snickers to herself. So, I haven't talked to you since, the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of left it alone. I didn't know exactly how to proceed.
May looks down into the box of needles, sort of trying to avert her gaze a little bit. I don't really think that there's much to proceed with, It's a dangerous game to do that.
Kelly becomes rather quiet as she stands there.
You have family here, and I don't really have anybody. If people found out and they got angry, it would just be bad business for both of us. But May tries not to look at Kelly when she's... Well, it's not that she's trying not to look at her, but she just can't. You can tell quite obviously she's feeling somewhat conflicted and guilty about what she's saying.
Callie will consider her actions for a moment as she very gently places two hands on either side of May's neck to try and bring her gaze up to Callie's.
She lifts her head slowly.
Callie will place her forehead against May's. You know how I feel.
I like you too, but you know, it's just the way it is. I don't want to piss anybody off, especially your dad or your sister.
Callie's face holds a tinge of palpable pain to it as she shudders slightly.
It's not just about pissing them off, you know, it's... She whispers against the litany.
Callie lets out a long sigh.
I'm not normally the sort of person to not break the rules, but I don't want to get you in any trouble, and I don't really want to segregate myself from the set before it started. Her tone's still low and quiet.
Callie nods, knowing that May is right, as much as it bothers her. And she'll lean forward and place her lips against May's, perhaps for the last time.
May responds to the kiss, and you can tell that there's indication in her in the way she moves into it, into her body language, that she wants to extend it, but at the last moment she pulls back and sort of tries to shake it off because it's too it's quite difficult for her to shake it off. You can see that she's struggling to restrain herself.
After May breaks away, Callie just pulls her into a hug.
She hugs her back and then just looks around a little bit and says, "Yeah, you get to work and I'll see you on your lunch." She gives her a slight stroke on her back, encouragingly.
Callie does seem to take some solace in something. She lets out a sigh and just kind of gives a squeeze to May's shoulder as she backs away. Well, life's never as easy as you want it to be, is it?
If everything was easy, it wouldn't be worth. She stops what she was about to say. Like she seems to trail off. Just like, anyway, I should go home and get some rest, but I'll see you a bit later.
Callie nods. With a somber smile, but a pleasant one all the same. I'll see you at lunch.
May carries on down the street. She puts the headphones on to make it seem like she goes back to listening to music, but she doesn't press play. She thinks about consequences of her full-handed actions as she walks home back to her apartment.
Callie lets just out this long sigh as she balls up her fists. And she turns and just punches the glass and jumps back when a little bit of a crack appears along the side of it. Well, the sound of a crack in her knuckles as she quickly moves on, kind of going from a standstill to a very brisk jog or power walk. Shit. Before the proprietor of the business can make his way out. And there we can end our scene.